From the ABS-CBN studios, I'm Diane Castillo. Very excited to have the chance today to talk to one of our most successful Filipino athletes. He literally flies high as the world #2 pole vaulter, a two-time Olympian. Please welcome EJ Obiena. Yay! So marami nagtatanong sa akin kung marunong ka daw mag-Tagalog kasi most of your interviews are in English, di ba?
Dito po lumaki, so yeah, marunong po ako. It's just, you know, sometimes I get asked in English. I try to answer in English, or yeah, it's, I guess, medyo matagal na po na sa labas. So sometimes, yeah, nakasanayan lang po.
And fluent in Italian na?
I wouldn't say fluent, but I can converse naman po.
Galing. Well, EJ, it's been, I think, just a month after the Paris Olympics, diba? It's
almost a month, yeah.
Yeah, almost a month. So now that you look back on the games, I know you wanted to win a medal, but what are your reflections? Because sometimes, like, after the actual competition, you have initial emotions, and then it kind of settles down, and then you speak to the people who matter to you. So what are your thoughts on the games?
Emotion-wise, I think I kind of threw it out in the window already. I think it's done. There's, you know, there is emotion that played in it, but it's not that important. It's more like what happened, what has been, you know, the crux of this season for me. What could have been better? If I could redo it, what would have changed? Those kind of things. So I've thought about it, and yeah, those things that I think I'll be improving, I'll be applying it for next year.
Yeah, so you finished 4th place and with a 5.90, right? Which to me, I mean, to me, I know you were expecting much more, but to me it was also a victory because of all the injuries that a lot of people don't know you went through leading up to the Paris Games. So are you okay to tell us, because I know you didn't want to mention it before because you didn't want it to sound like, oh, it's an excuse that I'm not ready.
Yeah.
Diba? So what really happened before the Paris that was so, like, challenging to you?
I think this year has been very rough. Marami pong mga challenges today. So I started the indoor season pretty late so we could prepare. Then I was good, and then the week that I was competing for Glasgow, I got sick. I was on antibiotics while I was competing in Glasgow. It's just really bad. And then I had a week of recovery, a week of rest, then went back to training. Training went well until April. So I flew in the US.
Yeah.
I was supposed to be there for 6 weeks. Then the first week was okay. Then the next week my back spasmed. And then...
So that's April?
April.
Okay.
Unfortunately in the US it's not easy to get an MRI scan. It's not easy if you're not insured in the US to get a doctor, to get anything checked. So I needed to make some calls, and actually Puma was the one to help me. They sent me to Munich.
Back to Europe? Yeah,
back to Europe, because we can't get anybody in so I was in Europe, in Munich for a week. Then I flew back to LA. Then I trained for a week there. I jumped one time before the LA Grand Prix. That's why I was surprised. Like, I was blown out of this world. Like, my emotions was high again. And I was like, okay, I still got it. Like, this is a good sign. I win LA Grand Prix. Then we go back to Europe. This pole thing happened. Snapped the pole. My back just spasmed again. So I was like down low again, and like, you know, like at that point I was just trying to, like, okay, don't dwell on this. Try to bounce back. Try to find a way. Then I got another treatment in Italy to kind of. It's not a fix. It's a
remedyo lang.
Yeah, remedyo. So it's a pain reliever kind of thing. So I jumped 97, and I said, okay, I'm still in the game. You got this. Like, as much as all that thing happened, stay positive. Then I go to Paris, my back spasmed yet again. And leading up to Paris was like 14 days, less than 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I needed to fly back again in Italy, get another painkiller shot, and try to stitch everything together for Paris. Yeah, that's why qualification was rough. Didn't know which poles to use exactly. The whole season, I had maybe 5 jump sessions in training.
Wow.
So, yeah, it's medyo ano po, malubak yung road to Paris for me.
For sure, yeah.
That's why I still am very proud of my team, what we have achieved. Yeah, but it still sucks that, you know, I missed the podium by
Yeah.
by an attempt.
So a lot of people were asking, because you had the same height as,
Emmanuel.
yeah, from Greece,
Yeah.
5.90.
Yeah.
So why did he get the bronze and you ended up for? Just to explain the technical aspect
Yeah,
of that.
so he had the perfect scorecard. He made every jump on his first attempt. I missed one attempt at 580.
Yeah.
Even though everything was the same, the height was the same, that miss at 580, yeah, unfortunately cost me a medal in Olympics. And
Okay.
yeah, that's sports.
So it's been a rough year for you,
Yeah.
right? But still, you know, successful in many ways, right? Like the injuries, I know, for an athlete are really the most difficult to deal with.
Yeah.
And then it affects you mentally and all that. So I
Yes.
wanted to ask you, during these times na, I'm sure you feel medyo like down, and then how do you get yourself together, pick yourself up? Who do you talk to? What do you do? Because this happens a lot to athletes.
Have a good supporting team, I would say. I have a lot of people, not a lot, a few people that truly cares for my well-being. Yeah, like you said, you know, injuries are the worst, I
Yeah.
think, but you need to dwell with your emotion that comes with it, and I think that's really bad. And all that, like up and down, the whole season was just tiring. After Silesia, when the day after I got ruled with the stress fracture, I was like, I'm tired of this. Like, I'm really tired of this. I'm like, I've been keeping my positivity to the best that I can. You know,
Yeah.
stitching everything, like keeping that hope with all of this, like, it's exhausting. And at that point, there's a, if I'm being honest, there's a sense of relief that I could finally do what's necessary for my body and recover. Even
Now.
now. Even though I wanted to continue, Vitaly told me, if you want to look in the long term, you need to make smart decisions, not with your emotions. Like, right now, I get it, but you need to make smart decisions. And for this time, the smart thing is to recover, let it heal, so that by the time the indoor season comes, I'll be ready.
Yeah. So just to backtrack, after the Olympics, you competed again. You continued to
Yeah.
compete, right?
Yes.
And then you discovered that you had a stress fracture
yeah.
on your L5.
L5,
So
yeah.
you had to cut your season
Yes.
short. Okay. So during these times, like, it's really Vitaly talaga yung kumakausap sa'yo to
Yeah.
make sense of what's happening to you and to give you a brighter perspective. So siya ba talaga yung...
Vitaly definitely is, because he knows me, you know, he deals with me day in, day out
Yeah.
more than anyone else. And I have Jim, of course, that I consult, I confer with him.
Jim
and
Lafferty.
Jim
Yeah.
Lafferty. I tell him almost everything, and I say, hey, you know, this is what's happening. He helps me a lot with, like, what he thinks also from his point of view.
Yeah.
And of course, I have my psychologist, and I have the team, my physios as well. And everybody, well, to be honest, like, the conversation of stopping the competition, I said, I don't want to make this decision. You guys make the decision, because right now I don't
Yeah.
think I'm capable of doing this, because I'm very, like, emotionally I was not in a good place. So
Yeah.
I said I would not make a smart decision. I leave it to you. Like, Vitaly was on the phone with the doctor,
Yeah.
and then the doctor put down he talked to me. He's like, okay, you're going back. You're gonna talk to your coach. He'll pick you up in the train station, and you'll know. So yeah.
Okay. So for the record, you're healing from your back injury. Are you
Yes.
doing any treatments?
No, it just needs time, really time. Good thing it didn't. It's not like a complete fracture, so there's no screws, no nothing. I just need to let the bone heal. Yeah, by third week, I should be theoretically fully healed.
Third week of September.
Third week of September. So
Okay.
we'll have another scan and check if everything's on the right path. Then we'll plan from there.
Okay, and then babalik ka to competition next year,
Next
na,
year.
EJ? Because
Yes,
a lot
ma'am.
of people are asking me, what's EJ's plan? What's he gonna do? You're gonna compete again in 2025.
Yeah, we have World Indoor Championship in March. We have Asian Championship in June, if I'm not mistaken. Then we have World Championship in Japan in September. Then we have Southeast Asian Games, of course, in all
Oh,
these.
that's so
So,
good to hear that you're
yeah.
competing sa SEA Games
If I'm healthy,
pa.
for sure.
Yeah, and then I guess the Olympics LA 2028 is too far to...
It's hard to plan for that. We'll take it one day at a time.
Yeah, but that's good news that you're gonna still continue to compete, and
For
that
sure.
Vitaly is still 100% committed to.
He's more committed than me.
Oh, he's more committed than you. Okay. EJ, pag-usapan naman natin yung short homecoming nyo kasi 'di ba
Oh, yeah,
that was an unplanned trip, like
Yes.
after Paris, you were flown back here,
Yeah.
you had a meeting in Malacanang,
Yeah.
and how did you enjoy all that, and what was that like for you?
I was tired because I didn't know yung flight, so everybody kind of met in Dubai, and I was
Yeah.
already in Italy because I drove my post back. I was like, so when's the flight going to Manila? Nobody, at least I didn't know. So I flew
Yeah.
in, what was that?
Yeah, it was like
20,
midnight.
20, yeah. I was there for 20 hours waiting for them to arrive.
okay.
And then it was actually like evening pa pala, the
Yeah.
flight. So like that night, then we flew and I stayed in Manila for less than a day
Yeah.
to do that and be in the House of Representatives. Of course, be with the Olympians was fun, especially yung
Being in Malacanang?
yeah. To be honest, the more fun is the bus ride. Kasi ang kulit.
Oh, the bus
Yung
ride.
Ymir, Kuya Ymir, makulit, super kulit. Like, he was joking with Sam, and then Kaloy was like, so there was like a setup of an after party for all the Olympians. Like, Kaloy was like, I'm really tired. Sabi ni Kuya Ymir, pag hindi hanapin ka, katokin kita. Yeah, it's like, it was some fun interaction kasi now everything, the big competition was done, everybody's a little bit more relaxed, and yeah, it's fun to be with them. It's a pretty interesting bunch, and yeah, I'm proud to be part of that.
Yeah, and to be honored as Olympians, I mean, I think that was really special,
Yes.
diba? Like in Malacanang, in Houses Represent. Nakaabot ka pa sa city of Manila because you're from
Yeah.
Manila.
Yes, well,
Right?
like I was there for like a few minutes.
Yeah.
We just ran through it.
So EJ, you're super popular, like especially online. Like whenever you post, people love it. First of all, you do make your own captions
po.
and stuff like that. So you're being called now, ano yun? Online, nation's new boyfriend, right? How do you internet boyfriend?
Okay.
So how do you feel about that?
I don't know how to feel about that. I mean, I think it's a good thing, but yeah, it's also just it's a bit weird for me. Like, yeah, it's a bit odd, but
Uncomfortable, but you'll take it, right?
I mean, at least it's not
Yeah.
bad,
Yeah. I remember because I covered the motorcade. Wala ka sa motorcade because
Yeah.
I think you went back
I was
na to
flying back,
Italy.
yes po.
So a lot of people are asking me, bakit wala si EJ Obiena? Diba?
Because I was still set to compete in Lausanne like 7 days from 7 days from that time.
Yeah.
So I needed to. At that time was still, I was still in the season.
Yeah. EJ, we want to get to know you a little bit more. So
Sure.
you were born in the Philippines. Your parents are both athletes. So Ernest was a silver medalist and a bronze medalist in pole vaulting
Yes.
for the Philippines in the Southeast Asian Games. And your mom is
A hurdler po.
a hurdler.
Yes po. Back in the day.
Yeah. So you were really destined to be in athletics, no?
I guess so. I mean, I grew up pretty much the Rizal Memorial. Like as a kid, my dad and my mom would bring me to the track. And
To watch them?
Well, my dad, nagte-ensayo siya ng time na yun eh. So my
okay.
mom was taking care of me. But then, we don't have a yaya, so we don't have a someone that would take care of me. So they bring me to the track. So I hang out as like a very young kid. I hang out with all these national athletes in the stadium, and that's how I grew up.
And then when did you start running, or when did your dad start teaching you to do the pole vault?
I can't remember exactly. I think I would say around 7, 8 years old.
That's young.
Yeah,
But
it's
parang
more fun,
just playing around.
just hanging around, really enjoying what's there. That's my playground at that time.
Okay. Then what age did you start competing?
Pole vault, specifically 13. I would say 13 years old.
Did you
yeah.
compete in other athletics events?
I did hurdles. Yeah,
You
because
did hurdles also?
yeah, at that time wala pa pong pole vault for that age group. Hopefully that changed, and I think it already does. Then palarong pambansa, pole vault's only in high school.
Yeah.
So when I got into high school, that's where I started competing for pole vault.
Yeah. And when did you decide that you really wanted to pursue your career in pole vaulting?
It wasn't, hindi siya parang, okay, pole vault right away. It was more of like a ticket for me to get into good school. In high school, going to college, there's like, of course, the big four universities that
Yeah.
we all the
UST,
kids.
no?
Yeah, at that time, I was actually admitted in Ateneo. I got scholarship for a year. Then something happened, and then
Okay.
my scholarship got taken out, and I transferred to UST. So it was pole vaulting was a ticket for me for a better education.
Oh.
And
wow.
it just doors started opening when back in 2014 when I met my coach. I was sent there by World Athletics to train.
Vitaly
Yeah.
Petrov, yeah.
So then things just started to develop,
Yeah.
but still it was more of a side quest.
Yeah.
You know, it was not like, okay, I want to be a pole vaulter.
Yes, yeah.
Then I torn my ACL in 2017, which kind of, you know,
I remember that. That was the Southeast
SEA
Asian Games, yeah.
I was down, and I had like a decision to make: finish school, stay in school, and you know, do everything that, you know, just be
yeah.
your regular guy, I guess. Yeah, that's where I did have time to reflect and really realize and say, I actually miss this sport, and I actually want to try.
Yeah.
And my mom it was not a very nice conversation with them when I said I want to take a leave of absence.
From school,
after,
yeah, that's right.
after tearing my ACL and say I want to go to Olympics. I think they, of course, it's as a parent, I understand that they had
Yeah.
a bit of difficulties to kind of see the you know, the thought process into it, but for me, it was very clear, if I don't try it, I'll hate myself and probably going to be a grumpy old man. So
Yeah.
I was like, I needed to try. But yeah, as parents are, they said, oh, you have a deadline. You need to set a deadline for yourself. I said, if I don't make Olympics, don't worry. I'll be back home. I'll be studying, and I'll be
Yeah.
doing my thing. But yeah,
Two
God,
Olympics later.
yeah, God had different plans, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. And we're so happy. So I remember you telling me that one of your dad's dreams or goals for you was just to jump 5 meters. And now you're one of the elite 27 now. am I
27
correct?
now, yes.
27 now who have jumped over 6 meters in the world. Only 27 people in the entire planet have ever jumped 6 meters, and you're one of them. So when you talk about that with your dad and your mom, I mean, how does that conversation go?
Still unreal, I think. Yeah, my dad never really, how do you say, had the idea that EJ is going to be one of the best in the world. I think
Yeah.
we wanted to be competitive in the Southeast Asian Games, and that's like our bubble. That's like what we knew what we
Yeah.
could do. And then here comes Vitaly in the first year of meeting us and saying, oh, before the end of training camp, I think your son can jump 520. My dad...
520 pa lang.
Yeah, and my dad was thinking it was a joke. Like, I thought it was a joke. And,
Yeah.
well, nagdi lang hanghel talaga si Vitaly. I jumped 521
Yeah.
that year, so... And things just started rolling,
Yeah.
so... I think both of us, at least me personally, I've done things I never thought I could. And
Yes.
I've accomplished more than I set out to do as a kid, but yeah, I still want that, you know, Olympic medal. That's something I'm missing.
That's good to hear.
Yeah, so.
But I
it is-
love what you said, that Vitaly is more convinced than you, because for me, you meeting Vitaly Petrov and having him as your mentor was really a game changer.
Yes,
I
definitely.
mean, of course, your parents are forever there for you, but for you to be in Italy and exposed to all that training, his world-class level of instruction, diba?
I owe my career to this guy. Like,
And how old is he?
He's 78.
78 years old.
78
Yeah.
years young. I
Oh,
would say,
78 years young, with more energy than you, right?
Yeah, from time to time. Yeah,
Yes.
so.
You talked to him yesterday. What does he tell you? What did he tell you?
He was with Hussein, my training partner, because the guy's still competing. He was in Chiari. I didn't know the results, so he was like just checking up on me. How are you? What are you doing? Hopefully you're not doing anything stupid. I was like, don't worry, I'm taking care of my back. I'm not.
Yeah.
Everything's fine. So I think I'll hear from him definitely soon more. And yeah, I think it's everything's kind of unplugged, you know, in the field of pole vault for me at this time. I mean, I can't do much. So
Yeah. Well, thank
even
God.
tennis.
Huh? You
like,
can't play
goddamn, I
tennis
can't
also.
play
Thank God for
Sorry,
Vitaly.
sorry for my words.
Thank God for Vitaly, diba?
Yeah.
You have a meet and greet. That's the good news for your many Filipino fans on September 15. So Pinoys can actually go to the Ayala Triangle and
Yes.
meet you. Can you tell us about that?
So it's going to be on September 15, 10 a.m. In Ayala Malls, Manila Bay. We wanted to have the pole vault competition. Unfortunately, the organizers think that if I'm not jumping and other stuff
Right.
that came
Yeah.
about, it might as well we postpone it to have it to the level we want it to be. And I wanted to showcase the event for the Filipino people. Well, unfortunately, it won't happen.
Yeah.
Therefore, I wanted to push, like, my team rushed that meet and greet because I said, there's an interest in the sport and I want to at least still be able to showcase the event and be able to interact with all these people. And it's not going to be a regular meet and greet. I think it's quite an interesting one.
Okay.
And I'm not going to be the only athlete there. So there's going to be a few more. We're still confirming it, so I can't say
Okay.
who exactly is going to be there. But yeah, I think it's going to be fun. There's going to be more time for us to kind of interact and get to meet my people, I would say.
Yeah, so September 15 yun, that's going to be free to the public.
Yes, po, it's free.
Right.
It's free. Just register and it should be.
Yeah. EJ, a lot of, it's so unlikely that the Philippines excels in a sport like pole vault, diba? So, but now there's so much interest in pole vault, like kids. How would you, and you don't really see pole vault, how do you call it, pits?
Yeah.
Well, there are not many in the Philippines.
Well, I'm
right?
donating one. We raised enough funds to donate one. So
you're donating one,
we're
okay.
looking for a city to place it. Right now, there's one in Mindanao that we're talking to, which, I want to make sure that it's going to be put to good use and people are going to be able to train. Like you said, the interest is in an all-time high. And
Yeah.
I think...
Because how do kids start? Where can they go? Should they do gymnastics first? Should they do track first? Should they do hurling first?
I mean, do as much sport as you can. I think it improves your motor skill. But you can't pole vault without a pit, and you can't jump without a pole. So I hope, the sporting authorities recognize the all-time interest, and not just in my event, in the whole spectrum of sports right now, because I truly believe it's the goal.
What about off the pole vault pit? Like, what do you like to do? What does EJ Obiena do? Like, do you like to eat? Do you like to cook? Do you like to watch movies? What do you and your girlfriend do?
I like to play tennis,
Oh,
as
you
you
play?
know.
Oh, yes, that's right.
For
Play
sure.
tennis. Okay.
And I'm a big fan of tennis. Unfortunately, like you said, Alcaraz and Djokovic is out. Sinner's still playing.
Yeah.
So we have. I like to do a couple of things. I like to drive cars, like fast cars, and I like to go to the track. Those are something that I want to do. I enjoy hanging out with people, just enjoying time with my family as well. I don't get to do that a lot, so taking advantage of the time that I have now.
And when you're here, do you eat Filipino food or no?
Now, yes, I'm the first time in a long time I could actually eat. I will eat anything right now, guilt-free, because it's not an Olympic year. It's not an Olympic cycle. I'm really unplugging myself and trying to live a bit, I guess.
Yeah. But for sure you'll be back next year, and your first competition will be the indoor championships.
Yes, that's the first major competition. So I'll probably need to do a couple of indoor competitions because I missed quite a few points for my ranking because I stopped my season. So I'm missing 2 Diamond League meets and a Silver Tour. So I need to find a way to kind of catch that up. To hopefully not slide down too far.
Yeah. Will you spend Christmas here or sa Italy pa rin?
I hope, but I don't know yet. It would depend on Vitaly. If he sees, the only time I probably would be able to spend it here if I can train here. And that's something hopefully we can explore.
EJ, for a pole vaulter to excel in this sport, kailangan talaga overseas yung training, no? Like, it's not gonna work like here, right?
Training-wise, I don't think it needs to be overseas. Personally, I think competing, you need to follow where athletics is. It's like tennis, you guys go through a tour, and the good ones, they basically, they first start with Australia, then they go back to Europe.
Yes.
Then they go to the US, and then after indoors in Europe. So there's like this season, and we have the same in track and field. I think you gotta follow where the big guys are competing. So you get used to it. You go to the biggest stage in Olympics and World Championship, you're not going to be surprised. This is a thing that you do on a weekend, I guess. So yeah, that's how I believe it is.
Right. Talking about the big guys, can you make us kwento a little bit about Mondo Duplantis, who just broke his Olympic record at 6.26. What kind of a guy is he, EJ? Because I can see, like, when you're not competing, you guys are chatting, so you're good friends, right?
We're friends, I would say. He's a very good guy. I think the sport is in good hands, definitely. He's very chill. For a guy that's doing that, he's very chill when he's vaulting. I rarely see him get frustrated in pole vault. I see him maybe frustrated in other things, but definitely not in pole vault. I've not seen that. He enjoys it. I think he's a very good example of a generational talent that's still working hard. And
so he worked hard talaga.
I do believe so. I don't train with him. I don't really compare notes with him. I guess that's the competitive side of us. But we're friends. I mean, we do go out sometimes and we talk, and we have some plans, and we'll see. Maybe we'll get to that.
Sana he can come to the Philippines one time, no? But you still plan that world meet next year.
Yes.
Hopefully, so Filipinos can look forward to that.
Yes. So hopefully, Mondo would love to come. Hopefully, explore Philippines a little bit afterwards. I think that would be a good to entice him to come to Philippines and jump.
Nice.
That's the plan. That's the plan.
Nice. EJ, you're an inspiration to us. So finally, sa mga athletes that are dreaming of achieving something in their sport, you said kanina that you never imagined that you would be where you are today, getting to world number 2 to Olympics. I mean, what would you say to them, to a Filipino who has a dream but doesn't think it could happen, but it happened for you? What could you tell them?
Dream big and enjoy and have fun. I think you'll be surprised at the things that you can do if you dedicate yourself into it. And to be able to dedicate yourself, you need to enjoy what you're doing. And as a kid, I think that's priority number 1. Have fun in what you do. Enjoy it. You never know. Maybe you fall in love with this sport and you become very passionate into it, then doors will open. And hopefully, hopefully we'll be able, Philippines as a country will be able to support that passion.
I was going to say, because, dreaming big comes with people who dream with you and support you, which is financially, of course, super needed.
Yes.
Right? Okay. Well, EJ, I'm so glad to hear that you're still in the game, that you're fighting. And if you're going to be there in the LA 2028 Olympics, we'll surely be there cheering for you. So
thank you.
Please keep on fighting for the Philippines. And thanks for representing us so well.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Ms. Dayan.
EJ Obiena, maraming salamat. We'll see you next time. Hope you enjoyed our chat with Ernest John Obiena.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Ms. Dayan.
Mabuhay ka. Thank you.